dark. It is dark. It's gonna be dark in here.
Hello friends, this is Julie. Welcome back to a new video.
There's gonna be an echo, and I apologize. There's like nothing in this room, so I will try to speak eloquently and clearly and concise, and maybe put some cute music in the background to help out. So let us talk about what I'm gonna be doing in this bedroom. This bedroom is the second girls' room I will be tackling in this house, and it is one of the 3 bedrooms that we have in this house. And this is going to be for my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old, and I am going to attempt to do a dark academia style for this bedroom. One of the reasons why I am doing dark academia for this bedroom is because I have become acutely aware that that is literally my style. I believe that it has been around for a very long time, but maybe only recently the phrase for it has been coined, because I've only really heard of it in the last year. And the minute that I saw it, I knew that it was me all over. And I could see myself in a huge Victorian house one of these days, styling everything exactly like this. The moody, dark, everything like an old library, basically. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what dark academia is. So basically what I see dark academia is one of the grand libraries, dark mahogany and walnut and old books stacked to the ceilings. Like, that is what it looks like to me in my mind. I don't know if that's what it technically is, but if you were to search dark academia on Pinterest, you would probably notice that most of the things are the beautiful paneling on the walls, and everything is darker, like the tones are darker. It is very nature inspired, as in very much so the curiosities. You will see feathers and a lot of nature inspired things like butterflies displayed, you know, insects and nature, like dried flowers, things like that. So it's very Victorian to me. So you will typically have a darker wall color, and normally it's all the walls will be a much darker tone. Moody, rich color schemes and tones like jeweled tones are a big thing with dark academia. And it's just a richer decor style. So you'll see brass, dark wood tones, lots of old books and curiosities, and it's more of a collected look. Something that you would have expected to find in the game Clue. Let us talk a little bit about this vision and design plan that I have for this little girl's bedroom. This one is gonna be a lot more fun. Also because the girls that are coming into this room, they're already on board with the vision that I have for it. We know that we are going to be doing a plum color for the walls, the bulk of the walls. I probably will do 3 complete walls of the plum color, and the colors that we are going with right now, the 4 choices that we have up on the walls that we are kind of living with for the moment are Alea by Sherwin-Williams, Blackberry, Carnelian, and Cordial. And they're all beautiful colors in their own right. I think personally I like Alea and I like Cordial the best. They are more of a pinkish plum. Cordial is a pinker plum, and Alea is like a darker plum color, which I really like. That's my favorite. So we shall see what we go with. Some of the supporting colors that I want to go with in here are going to be some really pretty green tones, some blues, creams, and even grays. Those supporting colors will be seen in basically the decor and the accessories, things like the rug, the beddings, pillow cases, any of the wall art that goes up on the walls, and even possibly the furniture. So with that, let's get straight into what I'm planning for wall treatment. I would love to do a wall treatment on this wall. This lovely thing. This was one of my first DIY projects in this house, and you can tell my styles has changed quite drastically since then. What I am looking for with a wall treatment is not only charm, but function for this space. I'm trying to keep it really minimal for this space because I really want as much space as possible, open floor space, for them to be able to play and have their friend in here, and it just be really easy for them to keep it clean. One of the things that I am considering, and it's becoming more than a consideration at this point, like I'm really planning it. I'm gonna do some sort of paneling. I think I'm gonna start around here. And maybe beadboard, maybe shiplap, or I could do horizontal shiplap, or I might do vertical shiplap, or I could just do maybe a thin coat over the top of it and then do some kind of beautiful like wood paneling look on the back here and then paint it the plum color. And then the top would be painted a really pretty cream color like White Dove from Benjamin Moore. And then to separate the two, I am planning on doing a peg rail all the way across this wall that will also have a shelf on top of it. And it will come out probably 5.5 inches on the wall. So it'll be a 1x6 that comes out. So it'll be a pretty good sized shelf, and they will be able to put some of their favorite things on there and even artwork. I would love, I'm kind of throwing around the idea of installing like a copper rail in here and then having the ability for them to display their artwork in frames above this wall. I'm throwing it around. Either that, or I will use a copper rod somewhere in here, maybe for curtain, like a wall curtain above their bed to make it look fancier, or something similar like that. I want to keep like brass and copper tones in here, like the richer metals for sure. I could also do faux brick. I could do faux brick on the bottom, possibly, and then paint that. I could paint that all white and then paint the purple on the top. Those are some options that I'm kind of playing around with in my brain. We shall see what I actually do. And then of course, it will have all new trim in here as well as door casings. The next thing that I want to talk about is the decorating, which will be obviously the most fun because that's when you're at the end of the process basically and you're just getting to put the dress on. So very nature inspired is what I'm planning in here. I would love to be able to have a really small, maybe eventually, I don't know when. I have a small cabinet, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I may bring it in here. It's very small. It's actually an antique radio cabinet, and it would make the perfect little curiosity cabinet for my little girls. And they just really love curiosity things. So we collect shells, we collect rocks, like very geological, very nature inspired, very much that thought of them being able to have their treasures in their own little cabinet in here. I think that that would be super cool. Also, we are going to have a place for books. I may install a little shelf on the wall where they can have all of their favorite books, and then we can like switch them out when we've grown sick of the ones that we've been using or reading. That's a possibility, and definitely lots of vintage art. And I do have some vintage art that I have purchased for this room that I will show in the videos when we get to the decorating part, but it's really beautiful. And if you've seen some of my past thrift stalls, you've probably seen them actually. It's just, they've been tucked away waiting for this bedroom to be done. I also have some really pretty brass swans that I am gonna bring in here as a part of their decorating. So very feminine, like I'm not gonna make this a masculine looking room. Just because it's dark academia doesn't mean it has to be masculine looking. It's gonna be very feminine. Also, I wanna look for some brass bookends for them so that they can display some of their favorite books. And obviously there's going to be toys in here, but they are going to be in a hutch, which goes into my next section to talk about, which is the furniture. And for furniture, I really have two things that I'm really looking for. It's going to be vintage and it is going to be minimal. So what I would really ideally like to have in here is a bed, their little twin size princess bed that is going to be a project because I bought it for $20 off of Facebook Marketplace and it needs to be redone. So their little vintage bed, that would be one piece of furniture. And then they have a toy hutch, which is a beautiful vintage wardrobe that actually matches the buffet that I redid on this channel. So that is coming in here. And then for the very last piece, I think I probably will just have their vintage table and chairs. I just want to keep it very minimal, like I said, because I want as much floor space as possible for them so that they can have plenty of space to stretch out and play. And when they make a mess, it'll be much easier to keep clean because there won't be a ton of stuff around for it to get lost in other words, or lost under. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing with the furniture yet. It could end up being wood tones, hopefully darker ones like walnut, or it could be painted. If I have to paint the 2 project pieces that I'm bringing in here, then I'll decide when I get into the projects. Basically, I'm hoping that I can have some wood tones in here. Neither of those pieces are in particularly great shape, so it'll be a miracle if I can make it that far. And let's go straight into rug options. So my 2 things for the rugs are, I want them to be antique style. I'm pretty sure most people do these days. They want like the medallion or the beautiful antique style rugs that appear like antiques, but they are not. I'm not interested in paying hundreds of dollars for rugs in my house at this point. But another thing that I want the rug to be in here is to be washable. Those are like my 2 non-negotiables. But I am looking at various colors. So I have found a couple different ones that I really like, and they're on Amazon. So easy to buy, they're reasonably priced, and they are washable, machine washable. So if I need to, I can throw them in the washing machine, or I could use my steam cleaner on them if I had to. They're colors like pinks and blues, grays and burgundies. So some of those supporting colors that I talked about before. And I am hoping to get a larger rug for this room. So at least an 8x10. If I could get something bigger that would be almost be wall to wall, that would be amazing, because that would be that much easier than it is to clean in here, since I chose to paint the subfloor once again as a temporary flooring option until we can either earn the money to put down permanent flooring, or we're moving out and we just install carpeting throughout, and then the new owners will get brand new carpeting at that point. The last thing that I want to talk about are some lighting options for this room. It currently has a ceiling fan which has 3 little lights on the top. There's not a lot of lighting in this room, so I would ideally like to add a hanging light of some sort in this room like I did in my daughter's bedroom. So I am actively on the lookout for a vintage style something, a lampshade or an actual hanging light that comes in here. I would prefer not to get glass, since it is a little kid's bedroom and sometimes accidents happen and I don't really want glass falling on them over bed. I would really like something unique. We have discussed the possibility of me finding a vintage globe and turning that into a hanging light, and I think that that would match my daughters really well because they're obsessed with the globe that we have, and it would be a really fun light for this bedroom. And I think it would kind of fit in with the whole academia style where it's just very, I don't know how to explain it, historic, book loving, educational, nature inspired, stuff like that. Like, we're homeschoolers, so all of that stuff just fits us really well. I would, obviously they're little girls, so they would be so happy with a chandelier. Even I've seen a lot of Tiffany style lampshades in the area. I'm again leery about that because it is glass. I do also have a vintage schoolhouse light fixture that I purchased that I could put up, but again, that's glass. So I don't know. It might end up being a DIY, probably will, obviously. I'm hoping that it's something not breakable. So ideally, the globe light fixture would be the best thing in my opinion. Although I did see a really cool lamp idea that it looked like a bowl, like a vintage bowl that had a hole screwed in at the top and was turned into a light. I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of doing that as a DIY. I may not do it for this bedroom, but I want to do it eventually. I think maybe for my kitchen, guys. That would be awesome. Let's put a pin in that. So yeah, those are my ideas for the moment, and I hope that the slides helped you get an actual idea of what I'm hoping to pull off in here. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that there is also going to be a brand new closet system that I'm going to build out for my daughters. So they will not have a dresser anymore because of the whole minimal thing. I want all of their stuff to fit away. I don't want clutter anywhere for them. So they're going to have their toys in their toy chest, and then they will have all of their clothes and whatever's left over inside of their closet. So they will have their baby stuff, like they have a little baby crib and they have a play kitchen. All of that stuff is gonna fit in the closet, and then it will be able to be hidden away completely, and low visual clutter for little kids is just so ideal because it helps them to sleep better at night, and I think having minimal amounts of things out for them to access makes it easier for them to learn how to clean up on their own, and also is just less overwhelming in general for them. So those are my plans for this bedroom, and I'm really excited. Hopefully I can finish. I'm really hoping that I can finish this bedroom rather quickly. That's my plan, because we will all breathe a sigh of relief when they have their own bedroom to be able to play in, and I will feel so much less mom guilt over the rest of the house being an absolute disaster area. So anyway, there is my plan for my little girl's dark academia bedroom, and I hope that you follow along with me and watch it all unfold. If you haven't seen any of my previous room projects, renovation, DIY projects, then I will leave a couple of them in the notes section for you. I have some playlists. All started builder grade. This house is really crappily thrown together because it is a subdivision home that was just really quickly thrown up. So, you know, that's what I'm working with. And we are a low income family. We have 5 kids and we homeschool. So there's a lot of chaos here, but it's a lot of fun, and I hope that you follow along with me. Let's see if we can turn this into a gorgeous, historic looking home.